Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. If you're watching this is my first YouTube video ever, so thank you so much for being here. So for my first video, I thought it would be fitting to yap about Desperate Housewives characters because I'm currently on my first watch through. I just started season 7, so please no spoilers for the last 2 seasons in the comments. I know it's kind of hard. This show did come out like 20 years ago. I've already seen a decent amount of spoilers on TikTok. Well, please no more. If you have not watched this um series, I would definitely recommend stopping this video now. Go watch it. 10 out of 10 watch. It's got 8 seasons, like 25 episodes per season, 45-minute episodes. So good. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to be ranking the majority of the characters from the first 6 seasons into faves, enjoyable, meh, annoying, scary AF, and spawns of Satan. If you know, you know. There'll probably be no surprises of who's in that last category. I will say that I didn't include all of the kids or all of the like side characters. If I miss one of your faves in the comments, let me know. If you disagree, definitely let me know. Okay, starting off strong, my all-time favorite queen, Brie, with the iconic red flipped out bob. Okay, so she honestly had one of the most interesting character developments. When we first meet Brie, she's this cookie cutter housewife that really doesn't show any emotions. She bottles up everything, but then as she progresses, she begins to let her hair down and really show us her true colors. But nevertheless, she was always that girl, always stood on business, protected her family. Some of her choices, might have been a little bit questionable between the whole Danielle pregnancy, Andrew manslaughter situation. But nevertheless, she got stuff done. She ran her business. I could honestly go on and on about Brie and why I love her. But for the sake of this video, I'm gonna try to keep it as brief as possible because we do have a good amount of characters to get into. Something that I hated is that in the first, I want to say like 3 seasons, she really had just like a crappy luck with men. Okay, between Rex, George, and then Orson in the beginning, I wanted to scream. She couldn't catch a break. She deserved so much better. Eventually, Orson did grow on me. We'll get into him later on the video, of course. But yeah, 10 out of 10. Love Miss Vanderkamp all the way. My next fave is Miss Gabby Solis. So she had a really sad childhood and interesting character development as well. When she first moved onto Wisteria Lane, the girl saw her as stuck up, kind of the spoiled New York model, but she begins to show humility and is actually a really good friend. Love her. Similar to Brie, she's got some bad kids, okay, but she held that family down. When Carlos was blind, out of work, she did what she had to do to take care of her family. She's super confident, except for, those little seasons that we don't talk about. But yeah, she's a baddie all the way through. There were about 2 instances in the show that definitely made me side eye her, which we will get into a little bit later on, that involve some other characters. It wouldn't be fair for me to not call those out. But yeah, another fave, Miss Gabby. So next is Angie, and unfortunately, I did not appreciate Angie throughout her season as much as I should have. She, again, another strong woman leading her family, taking care of her kids. Um, I didn't realize until the very final scene that she was in how iconic she was when she put the bomb in the detonator. Like, that just showed how intelligent she is. Love her. I didn't like how Miss Brie did not let her in on her little catering business. I thought that was a little bit shade on Brie's part. Again, Angie just wanting to be part of the girls. But yeah, love her. 10 out of 10. She had an iconic exit. No more notes. My final fave is Orson, but specifically after his mother is gone, but before the plane crash. So when Orson first came to Wisteria Lane, I won't lie, he spooked me. Okay, he was borderline scary AF category with his whole knowing Mike, mysterious dentist, murderer, crazy ex-wife that's not really dead line. That was pretty scary. Okay, and I was pissed off for Brie. Again, like I mentioned, she had really bad luck in the beginning, and when Orson came onto the scene, I was like, great, another psycho murderer for Brie to get with. I was pissed. Okay, but then after everything unfolded, he grew on me. I will admit, he grew on me. He loved Bree's kids like his own. He was super supportive of her for the most part. I will say, when her business did start kicking off, he, like a lot of the other husbands, loved to scream emasculation on the show. And that, again, just ticks me off because they just have really strong wives. Like, just, I don't, I don't know. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but they love to scream emasculation. Anywho, moving on. Um, right now, I will say he is getting a little bit boring post plane crash Orson. This is like right now where I'm at, like their second time getting divorced. Again, this might be a hot take, but he was kind of valid for calling Brie out for not turning in Andrew when she made him turn himself in. Granted, Orson was a grown man that ran over Mike, but um again, Andrew kind of did know better. He was like 16 at the time, so he should have also been held accountable. So it's kind of hard. That one is a sticky situation, I will admit. But yeah, kind of boring. I've seen other people online saying that Orson's character did get ruined, so I don't really know if they're gonna end up back together and go through with this divorce. Right now, he's like dating his physical therapist, so kind of not the best Orson fan, but for the most of the seasons that he was in, I thoroughly enjoyed him. Okay, so for my first enjoyable character, we have Carl Meyer, but only when he's with Bree. Before Bree, he was okay. He wasn't a good husband, but he was a good dad to Julie from what we could see. His storylines kind of didn't really do much with me. The whole back and forth with Susan at the beginning, his little thing with Edie, it was okay, but didn't really do much. But when he was with Bree, something about this pairing I just loved. It was exciting. It was different. It's something that you didn't really expect. Um, Wondering if they were gonna get caught. The whole little hotel scene when they did get caught with Susan, really good, interesting plot line. I was pretty crushed when he got killed in the plane wreck, I will say. Um, because I just love them. I wanted to see more from them, but at the same time, I also did really like Orson and his character. He hadn't been ruined yet. Um, so in my mind, it was kind of a toss up going back and forth who I wanted her to be with. So the plane wreck did obviously force her to choose, but really liked this, and I think a lot of other people like it too. He's kind of the guy that you love to hate. So for my next enjoyable character, it is Mr. John Rowland. So he's part of one of those situations that I mentioned in the beginning that I just cannot stand behind Gabby with. When he first appeared, I thought it was just another scandalous housewife and gardener dynamic. And then I found out that he was 16 in high school and absolutely disgusting. I thought for sure when his parents found out that Gabby was done for. I don't exactly remember why his parents didn't turn her to the police, but yeah, I didn't really like how all of that was kind of brushed under the rug, and like everyone knew about it and no one said anything. I did like seeing him start off as a high school gardener and seeing how he progressed into a very successful business owner. I think he got part of the show hotel shares when him and his little wife divorced. I don't know. Very successful now, very enjoyable, but again, did not like that Gabby plot line. I don't think anyone did. Cannot support her with that. And then our next enjoyable character, Miss Lynette, she deserved so much better. Could go on and on and on about how much better Lynette deserved. Her kids were bad. Her husband, absolutely horrendous. The reason why she's in the enjoyable category is because I feel like there could have been more done with the character. She did have some very interesting plot lines, but I feel like I don't know, she could have had more plots instead of focusing on other characters that I found a little bit less interesting. I also found like most of the plots and storylines that she was in was mainly surrounding like her bad kids and her bad husbands, not really focusing on herself besides her little like I don't know if it was a full season that she was like at work. We got to see her on her own, but for the most part, the driving storylines was her bad kids and her awful husband. So next we have Julie, who I almost put in the Meg category. She's a good kid, not too interesting. I mainly gave her pity points, I will say, because she had to be raised by Susan and Carl. She didn't really do much besides randomly dropping out of med school and then having an affair with Nick Bolin. I thought that was like a odd, super odd choice. And then the most recent season, season six, the whole Eddie um situation, she was kind of, a front runner there for the most part. Didn't really give much, but I can't hate on her too much. So that's why she's enjoyable. Okay, enjoyable Andrew post crash out. When we first meet Andrew, he is about bad as hell. Okay, him and his sister. I, between suing his mother, trying to become emancipated, just running amok, beating up George, the pharmacist, which very valid, but just crashing out on everyone. Okay, crashing out on everyone. I did enjoy his character development after he came back, brushed himself off, has a husband, I think, which again, a really weird plot line. We meet his fiance, Bree buys them a house, and as of right now, I haven't really seen them, so I don't know if they're married. Regardless, has a stable partner, part of his mom's company. I think he's back after the whole Rex's son kind of kicked him out. Pretty sure he's back with the company. Anyways, love him. He's a great kid. Okay. First meh. Susan and Mike. For some reason, people really don't like Susan. People despise her and they really hate her. I I don't mind her. She's she's meh. She's okay. She neglected Julie, kind of, running out, dating Mike, leaving Julie alone, yada yada yada. Didn't want her, was trying to like forbid Julie from going to some kind of internship right before college. I thought that was stupid. She ended up going. Anyways, her and Mike, will they, won't they, back and forth. Pretty predictable. Don't have much to say. Mike, I mean, he's okay. Like, he's not the worst husband. I thought he had a really interesting season one with the whole Zach, Paul Young. I thought that was really interesting. After that, he got tied up in a few more interesting plot lines, but they didn't really do much for me. They were just okay. They were just meh. Okay, another meh. Mary Alice Young, similarly to Mike, interesting in season one. I thought their whole family dynamic was interesting. I didn't expect it. Had lots of plot twists and turns. Obviously, she's the narrator, so she's kind of an important part of the show, but besides being the narrator, doesn't really give much. Don't have much to say about her. Maybe she'll have some more interesting storylines in season 7 and 8, but besides season 1, didn't really give much. She pops up every now and then. Applewhites also met. I would say that they had probably the most predictable season. From the very beginning, we know that she's got someone chained up in the basement and that her son is covering up for it. So, I don't know, that was just like so predictable. The whole big twist at the end is that it was actually her other son that was the murderer and not the son that she had chained up. So, I don't know, and they didn't really interact too much with the other housewives. There was a situation where her son got out and unfortunately caused Gabby to miscarry. Besides that, I mean, she tried to teach one of them the piano, I think Susan or something. Not really, didn't really interact with other characters too much. Just kind of boring. Also, kind of boring, Danny and Nick. I don't know why they look the same in this picture. Same exact facial expression. Really weird. Anyways, that's not important. Danny and Nick, they weren't as interesting as Angie. Danny had that weird affair with Julie that just did not make sense to me. I don't think we ever got like a full explanation, like a kind of like half-ass explanation as to why that was a thing. And then Angie just kind of forgave him because he helped her get away. Nick, I mean, I don't know. He was the whole reason, I suppose, that Patrick, pretty sure that's his name, Patrick was coming after Angie. But besides that, like towards like the last couple episodes, like the suspense and Patrick finding him, whatever, he just had this like weird back and forth with Anna, and I don't know. They were okay, not my favorite. Then this might ruffle some feathers. I have Edie as meh. She's almost in the annoying category. There are times where I really like Edie. I feel she's really misunderstood, and the girls are like too hard on her. She just wants to fit in. But then she goes and does some stupid crap that like really, really, really pisses me off. Okay. And that's why she got points docked and she's almost in the annoying category because the stuff that she pulls, let me tell you. So stealing Mike post coma. Okay. I as I said before, whole Mike, Susan, will they, won't they, back and forth scenario played out really annoying. But like, Edie, please give it up. Susan and Mike are meant to be, and stealing him post coma pissed me off, and gaslighting and twisting it, like I that really pissed me off. Um, Losing Carlos's papers in the tornado, his papers that let him access his Cayman Islands account and was like $10 million, and Gabby really needed it. Her stealing it and losing it in the tornado, that girl ticked me off. And then exposing Brie for the whole fake pregnancy, covering up for Danielle's situation that made, I'm pretty sure, is the reason why she got like shunned off the lane and left. Yeah, girl, you can't be doing that. But even though I found she was annoying, I feel like her death was really just kind of random, and they only dedicated a couple episodes post her death to like mourning her. Um, they do move on from deaths really quickly in the show, I will say. Um, I get that it was necessary for her to get in that crash so that she couldn't expose Dave, but I don't think they had to kill her off. And then also, Orson causing that crash, I don't think they really gave like much repercussions for that. Pretty sure he just got in trouble for the mic crash. Car crashes is something that this show loves to do. Car crashes and cheating shows this show loves to do it every like 3 episodes. Someone's cheating, someone's crashing their car. Brie crashed her car multiple times in like an episode recently. Just overplayed it. Then we have a Karen. She's not my favorite. She's a real one for putting up with the Scavos badasses kids, but she doesn't have many storylines where it's strictly about her, besides her husband's body being in the freezer for one episode. That was really weird. And then her trying to expose Dave Williams. I did like her for that, doing the digging, trying to expose Dave Williams. But besides that, she's just kind of a side character. She's okay. Not my favorite, not my least favorite. Then we have Bob and Lee. Similarly to Miss McCluskey, I feel like they were good supporting characters, but they didn't really add much. Um, when they first came to the lane, they had a little beef with Susan, and then after that, um, not really doing much. They're currently separated right now because of the whole um one of them wants a baby, the other one doesn't, after Gabby backed out of being the surrogate. So they have a couple plot lines here and there, but not much. I wish they would have given them more. Okay, for our first annoying, we have Danielle. Just like her brother, she's bad. Okay, she's bad as hell. Not as bad as her brother, but very annoying. Um, I she isn't as relevant as Andrew. I would notice that there would be times where like she would just like not be in episodes at a time. It would be Rex, Bree, and Angel at the dinner table, and Danielle would just be like gone. Um, she was a bad friend to Julie for getting pregnant with Edie's nephew's baby. I don't remember his name, but Edie's nephew was like into Julie and she was into her. She was into him. But then Danielle got pregnant with his baby. I think she did kind of turn around after she grew up and got married and then wanted the baby back. But we don't really see much of her, so for now, she hasn't had a full redemption, in my opinion, so she's stuck in the annoying category. For the most annoying of them all, I hate her. I hate Catherine with a burning passion. I don't know if it's just me, but this chick strikes a nerve with me. When she came back to Wisteria Lane, she acted like her and Susan were the best of friends. That was her homie. She was like, oh, acted like a main character, whatever, whatever. But the whole Mike situation just grinded my gears. Now, I know that Brie also dated one of Susan's exes, Carl's, but they at least all sat down and like had a conversation about that. Catherine just like started dating Mike, trying to keep it a secret, and then I don't know. I something about this just felt different. Maybe it's because I'm a Brie apologist. I don't know, but when Catherine did it, it just got under my skin. Um, and then I mean, I felt bad that she had her whole psychotic break, but she took it way too far, stabbing herself, like trying to frame Mike for it, trying to frame Susan for it, convinced that she was like and still married to Mike, telling people that she was married to Mike, going crazy. And I think what really got me is she crossed the line so much when it came to MJ, Susan and Mike's kid, like spending time with him, picking him up from school when her and Mike had not even been dating that long. They had been together for a couple months, and then she takes it upon herself to try to like step in without even asking Susan. What got me is when Susan was trying to set that boundary with Catherine, and Catherine was like, oh, well, that's going to be hard to do and hard for me to stay away from him when Mike's moving in. And it's like, whoa, when kids are involved, I feel like it just adds a whole nother dynamic. I cannot stand this chick. Right now, she is off with, I don't remember her name, but she's off with the stripper, her lesbian lover. I like that for her. Um, Hopefully it lasts. Hopefully she just stays away and hopefully she just turns a new page because right now I cannot stand her. Okay, so another annoying character. I guess his name's Ian. I had to look it up. I did not even remember who he was. All I knew was it was this man that Susan dated while Mike was in a coma. I thought it was like so irritating because when Mike woke up, it should have been like Susan going back to him immediately. It shouldn't have even been this whole, oh, who am I gonna choose type thing. You don't know this man, really. His wife, like, was in a coma also. Y'all were just trauma bonding. Like, when his wife died, you should have backed up. When Mike woke back up, you should have went back to him. It shouldn't have even been a conversation. And he was just like so controlling and weird and just way out of hand, telling her that you can't see Mike anymore. So annoying. He stuck around for way too long, way longer than he should have. Okay, annoying and borderline hate is Nora. I she's bad. Okay, there's no wonder why her daughter is the way that she is, given that Nora and Tom are her parents. Now, I did feel bad for Nora that she was having to raise Kayla by herself. I think that she was justified for wanting Tom to be in Kayla's life, but there was no reason for Nora to insert herself into the family. I thought she was really annoying and very irritating when she was plotting to get Lynette out of the picture. I cheered. I cheered when she got shot in that hostage supermarket situation. Also annoying and borderline hate the Scavo twins. Um, they're bad. They've always been bad. When they were little kids, they would like get kicked out of their school, burning stuff down, vandals, stealing, bad AF. And then I was super confused of the whole 5 years later gap that happened between either like season 4 and 5 or 5 and 6. I don't know. There was like a 5 year gap, but they somehow went from being like 6 years old to grown men. I don't get that. Okay, I'm very confused. But in those 5 years, they did not learn. Okay, they did not learn. They equally bad. I don't remember who is who, but one of them was like sleeping with his best friend's mom and then got framed for murder. No, yeah, framed for like murder and arson. And then the other one, I don't know if it's the same one or if it's the other one, with his whole dating that one Russian chick and then getting framed for murder. I know neither one of them committed murder, but just for the fact that like we can't put that past them. We can't put murder past either one of these two. They're bad, okay? Bad, annoying, don't like them. And they're the only one of the Scabo kids that I put on this list because the other ones kind of irrelevant. Okay, well actually I put Kayla on somewhere in this PowerPoint, but Penny and was it Preston? I don't know. I don't know who is who. Okay, but yeah, thing is, don't like these two. I wish they would stop making Lynette pregnant. Lynette being pregnant, as well as the affairs and the car crashes, is way too overplayed by this show. Now we have Carlos in the annoying category, which might make some people mad, but hear me out. There are points where I cannot stand Carlos. I know a lot of people really love him and Gabby together, and I do too. I think they're endgame. I think they're kind of the perfect match. Their dynamic works. But two of the stunts that he pulls, I really, 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 really cannot stand him. So the first one is the whole birth control incident back in season 1 or 2, where he knows Gabby does not want kids. He knew and was perfectly okay with that, or so he said. Buying a year's worth of her birth control in advance and switching out with placebos is so disgusting, so illegal, just horrible. Absolutely horrible. Gabby should have left him. Okay, Gabby should have left him after that. But she didn't. She should have. Absolutely disgusting. The other one was Lynette's pregnancy. The way that he handled Lynette's pregnancy with the twins at work made me so upset. I mean, like, it's just illegal. You can't discriminate against pregnant women at the workplace. He had already done it with the girl before Lynette. He admitted that he didn't hire her or didn't promote her. He basically discriminated against another girl for being pregnant, and that is why Lynette didn't tell him about her pregnancy. Once they found out, I this is the second situation that really made me not like Gabby for a moment, because she also turned on Lynette. Now, her reason for turning on Lynette was because she kind of felt like it showed that Lynette didn't trust her as a friend, which I can see why she would think that for a little bit, but then to take it so far as to like turn her back on her, not want to be Lynette's friend, I think she took it too far. Gabby should have turned around and been mad at her husband Carlos for that, because that is just so disgusting behavior. He was not justified. And the fact that him and Gabby thought that they were justified, I can't get past it. I'm sorry. Sorry, not sorry. Did not like Carlos in that moment. Another moment that I didn't like Carlos, which is annoying, but not as, I guess, horrible, is when he finally got his sight back and he wanted to do charity work, which is honorable, can understand that, but he at that point had two kids, a wife, they were behind on bills, they were going to lose a house. He eventually did end up going for the job that he didn't want as much, but at that point, like, you gotta step up and help your wife. She had been running the show for the couple years that Carlos was not able to work, and yeah, that was just kind of like a little annoying moment. Um, but those other two moments, absolutely disgusting. Hated this man for it. Can't really get past that. Both Juanitas, also very annoying. His daughter, Juanita, I mean, she's a kid. She's a bratty kid. Whatever. Typical. None of them really have the best kids. But his mother done pissed me off. Done pissed me off. Coming down, visiting them, running amok, causing chaos, taking pictures. I mean, I can't say that I wasn't happy when her annoying ass got ran over. Okay. Um, yeah, just ugh. Both annoying. Also annoying. Anna Solis. The Solis family, just most of them kind of tick me off. And Anna, she had a bad past, getting passed around from grandma, aunts, whatever. But she was just bratty when she came to live with Gabby and Carlos. Very bratty. She turned a corner a little bit when she went to New York. I'm pretty sure she matured, because we don't really see much from her, and she kind of seems to understand Gabby more. But for the most part, just kind of spoiled and very bratty. Okay, now we're getting into scary AF category, which none of these should be a surprise. First one, George the pharmacist. When we first met George, I liked him for about 30 seconds. I thought he was just this kind of sweet, kind of meek guy that was giving Brie attention, the attention that she wasn't getting from Rex. I thought it was a little cute at first, a little bit. I can't lie. But very quickly realized that that man is dubious. I was freaked out. Fun fact, this guy dated Trisha Paytas for some reason very early on. So that's a little bit of lore. But besides that, man is creepy as hell. I I honestly thought that he was gonna kill Brie. I thought most of these men were gonna kill Brie, just by the way that like when she would suddenly reject him, he would be secretly like clenching his fists and like ready to rage out. Whew. Yeah. George, good riddance. Scary, scary, scary. Also scary, Dave Williams. This man, he's on George's level. I will say he is on George's level. Now he gave a good story. Okay. when he came to Wisteria Lane, by the time that he came, we had kind of already seen the pattern. We'd seen the pattern that, oh, the person that moves onto the lane for the season typically is the villain or has got something super shady going on. So when he showed up, we knew that something was up. Okay, this man scared me. People think that he's like really handsome. I think he is so scary. I don't know, something about his eyes just scares me. He plays this character too well. If I saw this man on the street, I would be scared. But he did give a really good story. It was, I did not really expect it coming. Um, like we kind of saw that when his therapist came in the picture that he was getting close to someone, and then like it starts to click, and I think they did his story development really well. Um, what freaked me out the most probably again is with MJ whenever there's kids involved. I just get like more emotional. And the fact that he was going after MJ really freaked me out. Um, yeah, great story. Was very scared, was rooting for Edie to expose him to get into the woods, and fortunately did not work. Had me on the edge of my seat up until the very end. Also scary, Orson's mom, honorable mention, Orson's ex-wife. These two, these two, these two, they just, they be doing too much. Freaky deaky, another person that I thought was gonna kill Brie. Uh, they kind of did brush past their story a little bit quicker. Most villains kind of have the whole season, but if I remember correctly, I'm pretty sure these two were gone by like mid-season. Um, but yeah, I'm glad that Orson ended up turning a corner and not being as involved as we thought that he was. Again, a lot of plot twists. I knew that the mom was weird, but I kind of thought it was the ex-wife that was gonna be like a lot more psychotic. Um, but yeah, really scary. They play their characters well. Also scary. This man, I guess his name is Art. All I remember is he was the creepo that lived next door. Very briefly, we met him during the hostage supermarket situation. Um, and he helped save Lynette. I'm pretty sure that's the first time that we had been introduced to him. Don't remember him before that. But then it soon is discovered by Lynette going into his basement that he had pictures of kids. Pretty sure it was only young boys in their swimsuits. Now, he is a swim instructor, and they tried to justify it by that, but I'm sorry, swim instructor or not, that's super, super weird. And he didn't really have a good reason, um, besides just trying to justify that he's a swim instructor. Like, no, swim instructor or not, you should not have kids, shirtless kids in their bathing suits, taped up to your wall. His whole basement had like toys and pinball machines, and it made it look like it was meant to lure kids in. And then Lynette told everyone, as she should have, they protested, they tried to like run this man out of town, and then Lynette felt bad. And she was like trying to not double down on this, trying to pull back and say, oh, guys, maybe it's a misunderstanding. We can't bully people like this. Turns out he is a creep. I had never felt such shivers from this show than in this man's very last scene. In the very last scene, he his terminally ill sister passes away, and after that Lynette is like, oh, we made her have a heart attack, she couldn't take it, and Lynette feels bad, and she's trying to like suck up to this guy and like, you know, befriend him. And then he basically admits to Lynette that she was right. And he was like, you better keep your family safe because now that I'm not taking care of my sister, I have full range to do whatever I want. And that was probably the scariest moment in this show for me, at least like top three scariest moments. My mouth, my jaw, my mouth swung open. I was shook. Okay, shook, disgusted. Ugh, so glad that this man left because I was so scared that they were gonna explore that storyline and I would not be able to watch that. Okay, next scary AF. Paul and Zach Young. Zach, I get that he had a messed up childhood, parents, the story with him. But like this kid, when he was holding Susan hostage in Mike's house and he was planning to kill Mike, that was so spooky. So spooky. And then I thought we were done with him, and then he came back and was like creeping on Gabby. I thought that would have turned way worse. I thought he was gonna like hurt Gabby. That was gross. Okay, weird. But arguably worse, Paul Young. This man, like, he adds nothing but to just be a creep. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. He's like a cockroach, keeps coming back, coming back, coming back. He's back now. Came back at the end of season 6, early season 7. He's back. I don't get it. I don't know what else he's gonna get up to, but scary man. Also scary, Eddie. He had a tragic backstory, and it's one of those that it's like really hard because part of you wants to feel bad for a little bit, but then you remember that he's literally a psychotic murderer. His bad upbringing is an explanation, but is not an excuse. It is not an excuse to kill these women. And what I think makes it even scarier is he kills these women with his bare hands. Like, he is strong and powerful and just unhinged. I wish so much that things could have turned out differently for him, you know. And what's also scary is this is one of the most more realistic storylines. Like, we see how bad childhood, emotional neglect and abuse, and all of that can turn someone. And I think that's really scary. And I think that's why it's so scary, is because we see this, a lot of times. And yeah, it's just, ugh, disgusting. Him and Julie are not married in real life, though. So that's a fun fact. And last, and certainly least, the two spawns of Satan, Mr. Tom Scavo and Kayla. I mean, I don't have much to say. I feel like it's beating a dead horse at this point. Kayla, evil kid. One of the best things, and probably only good things that this man Tom did, was making her leave. Bad kid, very, psychotic, trying to frame Lynette for abuse and all this stuff. And it's like, I get Lynette wasn't the most accepting of Kayla, but Kayla done took it way too far. I know that this is a little kid, but yeah, she needs to go. She's psycho. And then Tom. Now, one of my friends that I put onto the show, she's in season 1, currently watching season 1, and I told her that I hate Tom, and she was like saying that, oh, she kind of likes Tom and Lynette, and was like, just please don't tell me that Tom cheats on her because I can't forgive that. And it's like, what doesn't this man do? You know, I could sit here and list off everything that this man has done to Lynette, but I'd be here all day. I think it would be easier for me to tell you what this man does not do. I mean, he is just so self centered, self absorbed, spending his family's life savings on this pizza joint, not wanting to take criticism. Again, another emasculated quote unquote husband, making Lynette's cancer about himself. I think that one probably is one of my top bottom Tom moments. Trying to make Lynette seem like a bad person for not caring about him when she has literal cancer. Um, just disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Can't stand this man. Alright, you guys, thank you so much if you made it to the end for sitting through my first YouTube video ever. Please, if you enjoyed this, like and subscribe. Again, this is my first video ever, so if you want to just leave some constructive criticism in the comments of what I could do differently, what you'd like to see, I really appreciate it. Alright, thanks, bye.